Hi, today I'm going to show you how you can use Cloudflare Access to replace your legacy VPN and secure any application that's running on an Ec2 instance. So over here, I have my own Ec2 instance where I'm running every simple web application, and it's accessible over HTTP and port 80. Here I have the public IP address of that Ec2 instance. So if I go and visit this website, this is what I see. It's a very simple web app that's running here. Now, if you're using a VPN, you're only allowing your users to access that website from very specific IP addresses. And when they're connected to that private network, only then your users can access to that website. So your security groups, you probably have a specification and some inbound rules where you list out what source IP addresses your users can use to access this application. In my case over here, it's open, so anyone on the internet can actually go and visit this website. And that's why when I entered that IP address directly, I could actually go to that website. I'm going to change this rule so that no one can access this website. For you, this would mean removing your inbound IP addresses that you set up for your legacy VPN setup. So let me do that. I'm going to delete this, save the rules, and now if I go ahead and refresh the page, eventually this will time out, which means it's not publicly accessible anymore. So next what I'm going to do is go to cloudflare.com and put the EC2 instance behind Cloudflare. So let me go to my Cloudflare account here. I will take that IP address. And now that website should be behind Cloudflare. Now that that's behind Cloudflare, I'm going to the Access tab and start setting up Cloudflare Access to put that application that's accessible over HTTP behind Access. So I have to add an identity provider and create an access policy. To create the access policy, I need to add an identity provider. So in this case, I'm going to use one-time PIN because that's the easiest one to set up. You can also use GitHub, Google, G Suite, or even like custom SAML to use access in front of your EC2 instance. Now I will go ahead and create an access policy. Over here, I'm going to specify which users will have access to it. So once I save the policy and I try to go to that website, it will ask me to enter my email address, and I'll enter that, and I will receive a one-time PIN code to access that application that's behind Cloudflare Access. If your email address is not listed here, you will not receive a PIN code. Now that the website is, behind Cloudflare Access, it's still not going to be available on the public internet. So if I try to go here, it will still say, it will time out and you won't be able to actually go to that website because we haven't added the inbound IP addresses for Cloudflare to your security group. So that's what we're going to do next. So we're going to copy over each of these IP address blocks and add it to your security group. And you can go and see the list of these IP addresses from cloudflare.com/IPs-v4. Then this part is going to be very tedious because I'm going to copy every single one of these to the security group. So you can skip this part and move forward. You will also have a lot of different configuration management tools available from AWS that you can use to automate this part and not drag and drop and copy and paste manually like I did. But for the sake of this demo, I'm just going to do that. I'm also going to skip adding the IPv6 addresses, but you can do that too by visiting cloudflare.com/IPs-v6. So I'm going to save the rules. Now that I've added all the inbound IPs from Cloudflare, any Cloudflare data center can reach out to your application on EC2 using port 80 over HTTP. This IP will still not be accessible, but if I go from here, then you can see that Cloudflare Access took over and then put up an identity login page so that basically to tell you that only people who have access to your application will now be able to visit that website. So remember, I set up my certifiedcloudflare.com email address as the only identity that can access this application. So I'm going to put that email address. And if you put any other email address, they will not receive a one-time PIN code. So I'll do that. I'll check if I received a PIN. And I did. So I'm going to paste that. Cool. So now your application is behind Cloudflare Access, and only people who are in that security policy will be able to access this website. And now you can get rid of your legacy VPN.